everyone, I am the virtual zookeeper and welcome back to my video. Today we will be removing some habitats and making new ones. So this crocodile habitat has been bugging me for quite a while now, mainly because it didn't look very realistic, especially with the track. It just showed too much. But then I realized I didn't remove all the crocodiles before deleting the habitat, so I had to remake another fake habitat so I can put them back and then, all that stuff. So it's just gonna be me struggling to keep like 3 crocodiles in this one habitat. And then guess what? That wasn't all. There were literally 2 more anyways, and I didn't know, which was very, very annoying on my end. So I had to do it again. And then I started deleting all the plants and things like that and flattening it out. And one of the reasons is I want to create like a tropical plaza area, which I think is going to be super cool. And now I'm flattening the terrain back to where it belongs. And now I've watched some tutorials, so then I learned how to create a good plaza area. And I used this trick where I added square edges, and I think that made it look really good. And now I'm taking down some of the hyenas because it's a little bit overcrowded. And it's pretty small for lots and lots of hyenas. And now we are also going to be working on a cheetah habitat. I will also be working on a Jurassic Park themed ostrich habitat. I took most of the inspiration from this design from Rudy Renkamel, I think. It's from Purina Hills Cheetah Outpost or something. I think it was something like that. And I finally learned how to create the correct roofing, which made me very happy. Now I'm adding some benches, some information. Now I actually just learned this recently, but I discovered that Planet Zoo actually has vending machines, which is really cool. So I'm also creating this some sort of fence design. It was actually based off of Simply Savannah's cougar habitat for the North America pack. So I'm using that as the cage that I need for the cheetahs. Now I'm adding some more cage designs so I can keep the guests and the cheetah safe while they're in the zoo, so there are no escapes. I heard that only like a couple months ago, maybe, I don't know, like a week ago, I don't remember. I heard that some zoo actually got their tamarin stolen, and the man who stole them got arrested. So I don't want the same thing happening on my zoo, so not allowing that to happen. Now I'm also adding this wooden fence design, the same ones that I got from the warthogs. And actually, while I was building this, I was actually watching the new Super Mario movie trailer that was just released like a couple days ago, maybe 2, 1, who knows. And the reason why there's a short pause in the video is because I was actually checking it out because my brother was playing it. And now that I'm back, I'm creating some foliage, rock work, things like that. Adding some grass here and there, more rocks, bushes. I also learned from the lady designer that apple trees are actually really good at creating this some sort of bushy style, which I followed her advice and it ended up pretty successful. And now here I am getting the cheetahs and realizing that the path is not there. And using my underground secret network of path systems to deliver my animals. I also added a wood barrier so no one would be able to see that where the underground part section is. Adding some more education. And this is where I discovered that there were actually vending machines in Planet Zoo, which was actually a first. And here I am, sending some lions back to their natural habitat, and definitely not stalking a caretaker. I think I make that joke way too many times. And now I'm checking out the cheetahs and making sure they're happy and healthy. And also I realized for some weird reason there was literally an African buffalo in the aardvark habitat, which was really weird. And now I'm adding an entrance for my zoo because I don't think the sign's gonna do that much. Now, if you haven't forgotten, the name of the zoo is the Kenyan Wildlife Facility and Rehabilitation, or KWFR. And now I'm checking on the ringtail lemurs, which actually have a baby now. And finally, the guests start using the plaza or viewing outpost. And now I'm looking for the perfect spot to add my ostriches. This design is actually quite heavily based on Best in Slot's Jurassic Park themed cassowary habitat, which was a really awesome design. And like Jurassic Park, since dinosaurs are related to birds and ostriches are also birds, it kind of makes sense that the ostriches are the Jurassic Park T-Rex. But since I don't have the Australia pack, I don't have cassowaries. Now I'm looking for some sort of pillar slash column, but I couldn't find one that's very well. So I decided to use this one because for some weird reason, all the columns or pillars had some sort of patterning on it, but I didn't want that. And now to increase the Jurassic Park theme, I added some red lights. And it took me a while of fiddling around with those lights to get all of them to have the reddish color. And now I changed it to nighttime so I can see how the lights look like. And though this time, instead of like some sort of gate, like what Best in Slot did, I decided to use like an opening in the cage. Like if the ostrich or slash dinosaur broke out of its cage. It also has this massive waterfall in it, which I'm actually really proud of the rock work that I added for there. And now I'm creating a rock barrier so people can't suddenly see that the fence just stopped. Because if they saw that, it'd be pretty weird. And now I'm adding the waterfalls. Now I actually figured out a way to get the grass to not look so yellow because I wanted this to be tropical. So I added a tropical type of water, and I figured out the short grass is actually pretty green, so I decided to use that as the tropical style grass. And now I'm creating this barrier so I can try my best to cover up the Knowles barriers. In my next video, I'll actually just change all of the knoll barriers back into regular barriers. So basically doing all that rock work and groundwork was pretty useless. Now I was trying to make a design of the fence being broken off, but for some reason the mesh did not break, so I decided to just add a fallen tree. And now I'm also using Piston Sauce design, so you use a whole bunch of bedding to make it look like an egg nest. And I looked up a Google Images of an ostrich egg, and they're actually pretty big, and they're basically chicken eggs but on steroids. And now I'm trying to hide the gate so it looks a little bit more realistic. And now, for the first time, I actually used tropical rocks in this. I've always only used like these African style of rocks, but looking at the new refreshing colors of the tropical rocks is good for my eyes. And now redoing that underground network again, I was connecting it to the warthog habitat because that's where it was closest to, and picking out the ostriches and sending them on their way. And at the right moment, I caught the caretaker just about to take out the animal. And now the ostriches are in their habitat. I decided to rename the animal Rexy and Asset 69 because, well, you probably know already. Adding some more trees, things like that. And the ostrich was actually crossing to the other side of the habitat, which actually made me really happy. I thought it was going to be separated so they would only stay on one side, but proved me wrong. Now, since the ostriches are have really long legs, they were actually able to wade in the water without swimming in it. Now, thank you to everyone for watching and enjoy the cinematics.